For this afternoon's hunt, we're going to go back to the same spot that I hunted probably been 4 or 5 days ago now. It's a cornfield. We've got some standing corn left on the farm here. And I keep saying that at some point all the action is going to be back on the food. And we're just going to stick with it until that time comes. For this north wind, it's pretty light wind, a little bit of northeast in it. So it's not perfect for this spot. It does kind of blow into the timber, but we had good luck last time just keeping the windows closed, and that held our scent inside, and we had deer on all sides of us. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I walked down this road probably a few hundred yards and then hop through the fence line and back into the field. And that redneck blind is backed around a trailer. And it's a pretty quick little hunt, really. I mean, we can get in and out of there pretty fast, and as long as the deer aren't in there when it's time to leave, I mean, it's we don't really end up educating very much along the way. So this area, we don't know for sure what's going to show up. There's a few bucks here that definitely could. The bladed 10 would be a candidate. He's in this area, and then that buck we call the tube buck. And then, you don't really know when you've got corn and the rut's starting to wind down. You could pull deer that just kind of wandered into the area, and then they end up staying because of the food. That's the plan. Looking forward to it. It's a nice cool evening in the upper 20s, so it'll be fun to sit there and see what comes out. Is that good? Yeah. Up here, a deer that you don't really expect or think about. Walk. Here it comes. Okay. Should I shoot him? Yeah. The tube buck. I have to get the window open somehow. Okay, go ahead. first we had that wide 8-pointer come in, deer that we've seen a couple of times this season, and then this 8-pointer that we called the tube buck, and he's either 5 or 6 years old. He might even, but anyway, he came into the opening here and started working his way up toward the blind, and it got really hectic really fast because I had to open my corner window without spooking him as he was coming closer. Plus that big 8-pointer, that wide 8-pointer, was like 5 yards in front of the blind, just going right across in front. And then the front window where Drake was filming out, it was all covered with condensation. So we were trying to figure out how to squeegee that without spooking that closer buck. Well, anyway, the bottom line is I got the shot off. So it was not much control to that. We just had to kind of wing it, and it's pretty exciting. Got a little chill going now. Combination of the excitement and the cold temperatures now that we got all these windows open. But the weird thing was I thought the shot was perfect. I mean, it was only 15, 20 yards away. The arrow hit, to me, looked perfect, but he didn't go down right away. He went out into the corn and laid down. So probably what we'll do, it's not going to do us any good to go over there now. So we're going to sneak out and maybe get something to eat, and then in a couple of hours after dark we'll just drive right back in here and see what we can find. But I can't imagine that being not a quickly fatal hit. That looked about as good as where I could possibly hit him. Okay, so we're trying to figure out, I thought this was the tube buck, but the tube buck had a sticker point on his right G2, and this one doesn't. And the more we got to looking at it, the more we started thinking it's that big 8-pointer that Drake filmed back in the summer. So now, when you pull back and look at this, I guarantee you that it is, because I'll show you right what I'm looking at if I can get to that frame. So there's a little hump right there on the end of his beam, and then we're going to get you a better look. There's a little sticker point right there. It's those two things, that bump on the end of that beam and that sticker point. Now let's go, let me show you a trail camera picture of that deer. Maybe. So this is him back in September. See that sticker point? There's the bump on the beam. So I'll move forward a couple more clicks. Bump on the beam. Sticker point. See it? I guarantee you it's that same deer. So here, that's the deer that I've been after the whole season. And he finally showed up, and I didn't even recognize that it was him. So that's pretty cool. I know we've got a lot of history with this deer too. I mean, he's been our #1 target this whole season. It's just kind of funny that I thought it was the wrong deer when he was coming in. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, you look at the rack and you look at the body shape and you decide whether they're mature or not. But it's just funny that I got tricked the whole way that buck was coming in. But here he is, 15 yards away, eating. He's quartering toward me just a little bit. You can see the arrow go, boom, right into the elbow, right behind the elbow. So his other leg is up here somewhere. He's stepping forward with the other leg. This one's back. So then, I mean, you see right where that hole is. The other leg was forward. And it should have gone, I mean, that should have been a dead, perfect 10 ringer. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, he pulled one over on us by sneaking in. We didn't even get to stress out about it. We didn't even recognize it was him. But so 2 surprises in one season. One was a surprise buck, and the other one was shooting one that you thought was a different deer, and then being surprised later to find out that it was the one that you've been after all season. So we're Here's the blood trail. There he is. Golly. He didn't go very far. Probably 50 yards total. Look at that. Oh, man. That's the deer. I tell you what, it's so funny. It's so funny that, here, I'll give this one to Tyler if you want to shine that over there. It's so funny that we got surprised twice this season. The first time we got surprised by a buck that we didn't expect. And the second time I thought this was a different buck. Then we went to the office and looked at the footage to make sure of the hit and everything, and then found that, you know, this was the one that we were after all season. So it's really pretty funny that it works out that way sometimes, but 2 surprises in 1 season. We'll definitely take it. This is the buck that Drake filmed him in early August, and we had a lot of footage from the year before in August, from summer of 2018. I figured he was 4 years old in 18 and putting him prime age for this year. So we were able to get him on the ground tonight. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's that where that little sticker point was that kind of got broke off on the beam. You'll remember that from the summer in the velvet. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It was chaos in the blind. I mean, we were trying to figure out whether we could even get the shot. I mean, obviously in this business, you know, we have to try to get the video, you know, and the bow shot. And with all that condensation on those windows, we were having to use the squeegee to wipe the window off at the same time that I was trying to get a window open in order to shoot. And then that wide 8-pointer was right by the blind. He probably was not more than 5 yards away at the most from the blind. We were doing all this stuff, opening windows and squeegeeing them off, and we never figured it would actually work. But, you know, we got fortunate, and it did work. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he was the deer we wanted to get. You know, he's a 5-year-old buck, and you know, we're always trying to manage for 5-year-old and older on this farm whenever possible, and so he was the perfect candidate.